How do I see Batman? He would probably be pretty boring as a conversationalist. I wouldn't want to hang out with him. After Sunday Mass, my father, he would stop at what we called in St. Louis a confectionery. You would call it a mom and pop store here, and buy a quart of milk for the family, and there was a wall full of comic books, and I could buy for 10 cents a comic book. I can remember that I loved Batman more than Superman. I don't have to search hard to find things to relate to in the character, the intelligence, the determination to wipe out crime even though he knows that's not possible. Batman back then was not a consistent character. They didn't even think about things like Bibles and characterization and structure. I never heard that word for the first 20 years or so that I worked in comics. It was such a loosey-goosey business back then because of the demise of the TV series. They were going to continue to publish Batman, but it was kind of on shaky ground. But the one that is given credit by historians for turning the character around and creating the Batman we now know was a 15-page story in Detective Comics called Secrets of the Waiting Grave. I went in to see Julie Schwartz. I was probably wearing tie-dye, and this is going to be hard to believe, long hair. And Julie, in all the time I worked for him, never went without a white shirt and a tie and a suit. And we circled each other like martial artists getting ready for a fight. Hippie me, super straight guy Julie. And so this is my terrible imitation of Julie Schwartz. Well, my boy, what do you got? And I had Secret of the Waiting Graves. I thought, this has to be Gothic. That's something they have missed since the 40s. It has to have that kind of spooky flavor to it. If you really saw a guy with a scallop cape and a mask outside today, you wouldn't be scared of him. So it's poetic license. He's got to at least make it easy for them to believe that such a person could exist. Well, I was not aware at the time I did it that I had changed Batman. Really, Paul Levitz told me that Secret of the Waiting Graves was the turning point. Everything I did was implicit in what Bill Finger did. I can't blame total originality. I can just claim the ability to recognize a good thing when I saw one. What is the term that the academics use? A culture bearer. I have been accused of being a culture bearer because of Green Lantern, Green Arrow. And the way this was explained to me is the world was really ready for that. It was waiting for somebody to come up with that idea, and I happened to be the one who did it. Well, Batman is kind of the same way. There's so many different kinds of stories you can tell through Batman that don't violate what's been established about Batman. He is a great character, and he's a great storytelling tool, but you can go almost anywhere with him. Frank Miller, for example, has played him a lot darker than I have, and Frank's stories work. So at the end of the day, the answer to all of those kind of questions is, does it work?